Hi everyone, I am Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen, your celestial interpreter, I don't know, and reader. Still figuring out my introduction. Words are weird right now. I think it's because I already started getting into the energy of channeling, so like I think Spirit just wants to convey a lot of these messages all at once, kind of like super quickly. But we're going to talk about what's in the chart, and we're going to talk about only briefly, but we're going to use the cards to get a lot of everything else. Because if you want really to get into what's in the chart, then I would suggest you follow me on Patreon. The link is in my bio. So I'm experimenting with just doing these brief 15-minute videos for IGTV where I pull some cards. It's kind of an introduction for me to the energy, and then I do the full reading for my Patreon subscribers. There I actually show a visualization of the chart and I talk about it. And you know, we really do a deep dive into it, and those are just generally longer videos, so you can call them extended versions of this because that's essentially what they are. But yeah, so I'm just burning some sage just to clarify and cleanse the energy. My throat chakra has been like getting a lot of clarity, and so just to speak to some of what's been going on lately in the astral, and I guess like ethereal bodies. There's a lot of throat chakra clearing, there's a lot of solar plexus clearing, and I truly believe that that has to do with the sacral plexus clearing that's been going on as well. So there's a lot of solar plexus clearing, there's a lot of sacral chakra clearing, there's a lot of solar plexus clearing, and a lot of throat chakra clearing, and there's a merging of the high heart here from all of that clearing going on. And we've also been receiving a lot of light codes, and that may have been causing headaches. So if you're having like sinus weirdness, and you know that it's not because of sinus weirdness, throat weirdness, any kind of like phlegmatic feeling, you know, whatever, that you know is not because of allergy season or whatever, it's probably throat chakra clearing. It probably, you know, especially with it becoming, with Mercury having moved into Gemini and Gemini season starting very soon. Gemini season starts on the 20th, which is exactly a week from today. We're gonna have a lot of things have been coming to surface to get out. So as I said, there was sacral chakra clearing, that's the orange one, because for the past while we've had root chakra clearing, and so that's had a lot to do with the mother wound when it comes to root chakra and the sacral chakra. That's had a lot to do with the mother wound. It has a lot to do with inner child healing that we've been going through, purging, becoming aware of and acknowledging, and then purging all the maladaptive ways of being that were embedded in us at childhood. Then we get up to the solar plexus, which is where we start to realize like, oh, I'm not mad at this God. I'm not like, I don't believe that I'm the most powerful being. I don't believe that I am the worst thing ever. Like, I am just a part of this collective, and I have divinity within me, and I have purpose, and I'm worthy of love and caring and kindness. I'm worthy of all of those things. And in fact, a fulfilling life is my birthright. It is my inheritance, and it is something that I am going to achieve for myself in this life. That's how we get up to so that's something that we have to realize at a certain point, is like, whatever makes us think that we're not valuable, whatever makes us think that we don't belong. And I'm going to actually start shuffling my cards. I'm using the Work Your Light Oracle and the Crystal Visions Tarot, which is a newer deck that I got recently. And so, yeah, we're talking about this, you know, sacral chakra clearing, and I'm gonna take out my book of shadows to shuffle on. Sacral chakra clearing comes in when we realize, like, you know, something, I think all of these horrible things about myself. Where did all of this come from? Why do I think this? I think all these horrible things about the world. Where did this come from? Why do I think this? And we come to realize, like, oh, I think this because, like, I have this, like, sickness in my mind, essentially. Like, somewhere, somehow, something was implanted in my mind. I generally tend to say indoctrination. It doesn't matter where it happened, in the media, in the home, in the school, political propaganda, doesn't matter. All of the institutions of society, all of the pillars of colonialism have been you know, we've been indoctrinated into this false matrix, and we've been exiting that space for a while. And so once we get to the clarity point with the sacral chakra, we realize, like, I'm the one who, like, I have a say, I have power. I'm the one who has to get clear here. I'm the one that needs to, like, liberate myself here. Nobody's coming to save me. It's just me. Like, I have to do this for myself. Inviting in our higher power, our guides, spirit, healed, whole, divine, ancestors, heal, whole, blessed, sanctified. We're inviting them in to share this space with us, to give us their messages. So yeah, then we get to realize, like, you know, something, I had a part to play. Also, other people had a part to play. Also, we have free will and we choose to perpetuate things. Am I always going to understand everybody's motivations? Do I always agree with people's actions? No to both of those things. But you know what? That's not what's important. What's important is that I have a say and I can extract myself from situations before they become detrimental to me. And even when I can't, you know, there is always light in every situation, which isn't necessarily to say, like, oh, everything, you know, well, there's a lot of karma clearing that's been going on. There's a lot of karma clearing. There's a lot of, like, dissolution of karmic contracts, ancestral trauma, ancestral karma, which we inherit when we manifest into our bodies, all that good stuff. But you know, and that's something that we have to reconcile with too. Some of the things that we've gone through in this life, where it's like, why did this happen? It may have to do with a past life. That's all that I can say about that. But before because we're about at the we're actually past the halfway point, I do actually want to get into talking about why any of this matters. And so Jupiter is entered Pisces. And we're going to use the whole sign, but that's not actually going to change what I'm about to say. Jupiter has entered Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. Both of these are the rulers of Pisces. So you know what that means. If you've heard me speak about this before in other videos, especially on my Patreon, you know that I believe that the 12th house associated with Pisces, the sign of Pisces, is associated with, like, the matrix, the mother, the universe, you know, the cosmic consciousness, you know, the universe as we know it, which is ever expanding, which really has to do with, like, Jupiter entering into here. It's electric, it's watery, it's powerful. So bottom of the deck we get, is it 9? Okay. 9 of Swords in the direct position on the bottom of the deck. And this is really, to me, it feels like an expansion of the mind, body, soul awareness. These crows are, like, around this fairy woman, and she's sleeping, and the sun is either rising or setting. But to me, and I don't have time to go into the book right now, but to me, especially the way that they crest like this, and then she's like sleeping on a rock in front of this one, that's 4, 4, 1. That's 9. So it's a cycle here, clearly. Where there's a looking back and realizing the way that things can change and the reality of how things used to be. It is this dream state, this other realm of consciousness that is outside of like how we operate in the 3D, like our conscious mind is looking back and seeing all of the things that we missed in the past. And it's an opportunity for growth and expansion, which has to do with Jupiter. It's an opportunity to change our lives, to be able to, you know, realize like what role we play in making our life a dream or a nightmare, because a nightmare is a type of dream too. Pisces has to do with fantasy. It also has to do with fear. It has to do with faith. We can choose to perpetuate fear by living from fear. We can choose to perpetuate desperation by living in desperation. But we can also choose to live our dreams, you know, as much as we possibly can. The way that we do that is by simply going for it. If we don't go for it, we never achieve it. It's not anybody else's responsibility to fulfill us. It's ours. And that's the responsibility that needs to be taken with that sacral chakra clearing. So if you've had gut clearing, maybe you've been bloated, gassy, nauseated. I have definitely felt nauseated. And it's just super gross. And then for me, it has been triggering like this phlegmatic like throat chakra clearing, which just makes it even more disgusting. Like my sinuses are clearing. And I know that it's not allergies, okay? It's really not allergies. This happens to me this time of year every year since I have started actually paying attention to my ethereal body. And I know what allergies feel like. Allergies do not make me not eat. For years, like this time of year, I don't eat because my gut is clearing. It's actually why a lot of people fast during this time, and a lot of people do like cleanses and such during this time. It's because we are clearing out that solar plexus. And there's a lot of realizations that come in this time. With Jupiter entering, it's actually the 3rd house, excuse me. With Jupiter entering Pisces in the 3rd house, and it's actually making a square, square to the sun, square to the north node, the sun in Taurus, north node in Gemini. I really see this as it's presenting to us like a different perception of who we thought we were, and who we thought we were. We understand how that's keeping us from becoming who we actually want to be. And it's also us understanding like maybe who we want to be is not the person that we thought we wanted to be. And maybe our dreams and our visions for ourselves shift and change. Once we start living in that truth and walking in that truth and start getting real with that and getting grounded in that, we start to find some liberation. So you got that bottom of the deck, 9 of Swords, energy going. Oop, she wants me to show you King of Cups. And I do feel like with Pisces being, well, actually Pisces is supposed to be the final water sign, so it is like the most mature, but I actually also see it as 0. So I actually see it as like the start, the end, and the beginning of the zodiac. Like it's 0 as well. It's like that center point in an infinity. So we're at 14 minutes and 13 seconds. I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in seeing more and like finishing this reading, then I would suggest you subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in my bio. Thank you so much for watching.